JBNN keep you informed. I'm Michelle Jones, and in the news, cold front expected to bring rain across Jamaica. A cold front is expected to move across Jamaica on Monday, while a trough is expected to remain across the island over the next few days. As a result, cloudy conditions with periods of showers and thunderstorms are expected across most parishes on Monday and Tuesday, according to the Met Service of Jamaica. Sections of most parishes are also expected to experience periods of showers and thunderstorms Sunday afternoon and evening, the Met Office said. My client is not a suspect in wife's death, says attorney for Joylan Silvera. The attorney for Joylan Silvera says the former parliamentarian is not being treated as a suspect by the police in their investigation into the murder of his wife. Initial reports claimed that Melissa Silvera passed away suddenly in her sleep on November 10. However, a recent post-mortem has reportedly since revealed that 3 bullet fragments were found inside her body, causing the police to upgrade the case to a murder investigation. It's understood that scenes of crime officers spent most of Saturday at the couple's home. Mr. Silvera has been interviewed by investigators. Sources say Mr. Silvera had indicated that he was not home the night his wife died. In a statement today, attorney Peter Champagne said his client has been cooperating with the investigation and is not a suspect. Champagne encouraged persons not to speculate and to be mindful of remarks they make, particularly on social media platforms. While I appreciate the need for transparency insofar as the public's interest is concerned in this most unfortunate situation, I would urge caution upon those who want to go beyond the boundaries of facts on social media. One must be sensitive to other circumstances, particularly as they relate to the young children of the family. The police investigation must be allowed to proceed without any prejudice to anyone. Meanwhile, a law enforcer said that the police who had gone to the house after Melissa Silvera's death on November 10 are in trouble. The first thing when you, as police, go on the scene of a sudden death is to check the body for marks of violence, the law enforcer, who opted not to be named, said. It's impossible for anybody to ignore 3 bullet wounds, and for something like that there must be blood splatter, so those police who went there must be under investigation, the law enforcer said. Cop freed of murder charge. Constable Von Daly, who shot and killed a man who was reportedly trying to rape a female in St. Thomas in 2009, has been acquitted of murder. The lawman was assigned to the Special Branch Unit, was freed on Thursday after a 7-member jury found him not guilty of murder in the Home Circuit Court. Daly was being tried for the August 2009 shooting death of Kenton Harrock before Justice Carls Wilshire. The prosecution led evidence that on August 29, 2009, Daly was on his way to work along the Prospect Main Road in the early morning when he observed an altercation between Harrock and 2 females who are residents of Prospect District in St. Thomas. Daly intervened in the incident in which Harrock was accused of attacking 2 females. The Crown further alleged that during Daly's intervention, he shot and killed Harrock, who the sole eyewitness said was unarmed. Daly, however, maintained that he was attacked by the man who was armed with a knife and that he acted in self-defense. During the trial, however, one of the prosecution's witnesses alleged that Harrock was beaten with a piece of stick and rocks because he tried to rape 2 women. However, the prosecution's expert witnesses agreed and indicated that there were no injuries caused by a stick observed on Harrock's body or recorded by the post-mortem. Defense counsel, while pointing out several inconsistencies on the Crown's case, argued that the evidence given by the witness runs parallel with the evidence given by the expert. Daly was represented by Tom Tavares, Vincent Casey, and Marcus Moore. The Crown was represented by Crown Counsel Andre Wedderburn. Breadwinner killed off by off-duty cop, family awaiting justice. About 6:30 a.m. on August 13, 2022, Linval Williams was packing goods into the trunk of his vehicle at his gate as he prepared to sell his produce in and around his community of Windsor Castle, St. Mary. Without warning, his Saturday morning routine was violently disrupted when a car reportedly driven by an off-duty cop slammed head-on into Williams's parked automobile. The impact set the 66-year-old hurling through the trunk and landing in the front of his car. His car was also pushed to the other side of the road. Paralyzed from the waist down, he spent 7 days in the hospital before succumbing to the injuries. It has been a difficult 16 months since the tragedy for the family, but his son, Craig Williams, is determined to keep fighting for justice, armed with footage of the accident, which was captured on CCTV. The policeman, a constable attached to the Office of the Commissioner of Police is yet to be charged despite a ruling from the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, ODPP, recommending a charge of death by dangerous driving, which carried a maximum sentence of 5 years under the Road Traffic Act in force at the time of the crash. A police source said that no one wanted to take up the case initially. The source believes this is because the police officer was involved, but is adamant that this is not supposed to happen as no one is above the law. It was a reluctance that Craig said he started witnessing since the very day of the accident, and he believes the uphill battle he has since faced in trying to get information on the case chalks up to delayed tactics. This has amplified the grief from the sudden death of their breadwinner and well-known community man, Craig said. It makes me feel like Jamaica is not really a place for people to live, and the police force is not really a force that is for good, a dejected Craig said. Craig explained that after the accident, the family went to the Highgate police station in St. Mary to make a report. By then it was late at night, and they were told to return the following day. But Craig said he insisted on making the report that night, as his father was in a critical condition. He was then informed that the officers had finished processing the scene of the accident and that there was nothing left to do. However, he said this rhetoric changed after he showed officers at the station footage of the accident. He was then told that the scene would be revisited the following day. Further to this, we found out that the third party that was driving the car was actually a police officer who declared himself to be a police officer when the police came on the scene of the accident, Craig said. The investigations also reportedly revealed that the vehicle being driven by the cop was neither registered nor insured. This has caused even more distress for the family, who are unable to receive any form of insurance payout. We learned that after the accident happened, he went online and did the renewal of his policy, so they could not cover the accident because he wasn't insured at the time of the accident, he said. Months later, Craig said he was informed that a case file was sent to the ODPP for a ruling. In May, he called to find out the status of the ruling. They said that based on the information I gave them, the police officer's name and my father's name, they said there was no case file there bearing those names, Craig declared. After this roadblock, Craig sought the advice of a lawyer who directed him to the Inspectorate and Professional Standards Oversight Bureau IPROB of the Jamaica Constabulary Force. This was after he had previously written to IPROB as well as the Commissioner's Office inquiring about the case but did not get a response. In July, he visited the office of IPROB to make a report, and weeks later, he said he was informed by an investigator there that the case file was at the ODPP. In September, he inquired about the ruling from the ODPP. I gave them the same information, and this time they said, yes, a ruling was made, and the file was sent to the office that sent the case file to us. They said they could not tell me what is in the ruling. I would have to call IPROB to find out what is there, he said. He did as was directed, but was told by IPROB that the case file was not with them, and he was redirected to the Commissioner's Office. Exhausted by the runabout, he persisted, making the required calls from one department in the JCF to the next in a desperate search for answers. I was saying that it doesn't really make any sense because it sounds like you're just taking me through a cycle and I'm not getting any update at all. And I know that if I call the Commissioner's Office, there'll be nothing coming from them, he said. At first I thought that the reason that the case file was not at the ODPP in the first place was that they were trying to probably just discard the file. If we never actually went to IPROB in July, the case would not have been sent to the ODPP. I think they're just trying to look out for their colleague and just don't really care. There's no remorse for what happened, and despite them seeing all of what happened, because it's on video, it's like they don't care. Director of Public Prosecutions, Paul Llewellyn Casey, said last week that the ruling on the matter was sent back to the police on September 6, 2023. We recommended that he be charged for causing death by dangerous driving, she confirmed. Meanwhile, Superintendent Bobbitt Morgan Simpson, head of the St. Elizabeth Police Division, said that administrative procedures have prevented the charge from being laid against the police officer 3 months after the DPP's ruling. There are some administrative procedures that are taking place right now, and then afterwards, whatever is going to happen will happen thereafter, but he has not yet been charged, she said. She was unable to provide a timeline as to when, if at all, the officer may be charged. Craig, in the meantime, has sought the help of the Office of the Public Defender, which wrote a letter to IPROB, the receipt of which Assistant Commissioner of Police MacArthur Sutherland has acknowledged. I received it day before yesterday, and an acknowledgement letter was sent back to the Public Defender, the IPROB boss said. What I wrote to my investigations team and directed that they go to the division where this matter originated and do the paper trail from there. Because if I'm to believe what he's saying, he would have been given some runaround, Sutherland said. Speaking generally, as his agency is not probing this matter, Hugh Faulkner, head of the Independent Commission of Investigations Indicom, suggests that civilians seek legal counsel when facing with challenges obtaining information from the police on matters involving cops. Still relentless, Craig said he will not stop until his family gets justice for his father, who he described as an independent, hard-working man who loved life and was the backbone of their family. We're looking for answers and we want justice because my father actually never went in the path of anybody. My father could have been living today, he said. JBN will keep you informed. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.